As a tourist, there are many takeaways from Japan. You got tuna, matcha, automated and heated toilet seats. That thing's life-changing. The cleanliness, the order, the discipline. My personal favorite is the peace and tranquility that engulfs the entire country from which you can hear a pin drop. Except when you're at Fuji for Mazda, because that sounds and smells like speed. It's simply exhilarating. Fresh from the 2023 Mazda Fan Fest just this September, it was an event to behold. The mere sight of Fuji's gates was enough to drop you a gear and restrict your bladder. It had been 4 years since the previous fest, so it was expected that the crowd came in droves. The streets and parking lots were orderly riddled with Mazdas, while we were, uncharacteristically, running behind on a chartered bus. Looking back at each other simultaneously at the Speedway's entrance from the bus as if to contemplate who was gonna get the Pinoy piece of the chicken, the doors opened and we headed for the stands. It began with a run of the historic beasts like single-seaters, RX-7s, and a 737C. If I didn't fanboy enough at the sound and smell of the past zooming by in present day, it was the thunder of the 787B warming up that caused me to soil myself. The same car that won Le Mans back when, well, Jack wasn't even a zygote then. As it came out of the pits and began its flying lap, I was so pumped with adrenaline, I wasn't even sure if I got it on camera as it passed me down the main straight. But man, that split second when it passes you, worth it. The only onomatopoeia that comes remotely close is, well, something like that, but it sounded a little bit better. I mean, even coming to a halt, it sounded good. What's more is the access you're granted into the garage, where modern and vintage pieces sit beside one another as if they were trading tips on how the track is for the day's running. Of course, there were other activities that filled the day with enough adrenaline to keep you standing for, well, really the most part. New Zealand's Mad Mike Whitted was on hand smoking the tires of his RX-7 up and down the main straight, which smelled almost as good as the food stalls around the area. Then, there was a 4-hour endurance race of the likes I'd never seen before. I mean, I know Fuji is big, but there were a total of 60 cars on the grid. What? Sure, you'd expect MX-5s from A to D, but I was tickled pink when I spotted a CX-8 and a Mazda 6 wagon in the running. That dude took his wagon up to first place at some point in the race. Fantastic! Mazda fanatics easily went ballistic on and off the track with merchandise stalls located behind the paddock, easily enough to fight logic like rent or souvenir. Yeah, souvenir for sure. The general parking lot was a sight of its own, a blanket of current generation Mazdas mixed with modified models and exhaust notes that would make their predecessors proud. Now, while I am still reading from the celebrations at Fuji, there is more in store for Mazda fanatics out there. Now, pocket, if you can call it that, fan fests do happen in the country at Clark International Speedway, but if the festivities in Japan are part of your bucket list, the first weekend of this November in Okayama is an early target. And if you go, because I spent all my money at Yodobashi, Big Camera, Don Quixote, and Yoshinoya, even before even getting to the track, please drop me a message and I'll supply you with Jack's card details plus a list of Mazda souvenirs.
How about Onitsuka?
Uy, pwede rin Onitsuka. Jack, don't worry, it's not for me, it's for the company. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe. See you soon.
You forgot Onitsuka? How could you forget on? Hey, he's not wearing Onitsuka today.
Because it's gonna rain later.